What's going on, guys? This is Chris, the Bonafide Hustler, coming to you live from the Hustler Command Center itself, my upstairs loft. This is where all the business goes down. It's where all the business goes down, right back here on these fancy little screens. Anyway, why do I have 3 screens? It's just the way I like it, honestly. You can hustle with 1 screen. But I like having all kinds of things going on, and Pandora, and whatever, and Facebook, and this and that, and all my ads. That's just convenient, honestly. It really is. Okay, so what's today's show about? I'm not going to show you any items today because that's tomorrow's video, I believe. I actually went through an awesome pick yesterday. Not really a pick. It was kind of like an all or nothing kind of deal, and I took it. And I'm going to show you that kind of stuff tomorrow. That might be a preview video than the actual video because there's a lot of stuff, and I want to show you guys what I found. This is during a weekday too. Amazing. But today's show and segment is going to be about viewer requests. Okay, I've had 2 of them. One through Facebook. And one through actual video on YouTube was a comment, and it actually had a request on there. So I'm going to address both those things right now and today. The first thing comes from actual YouTube video. About 3 videos ago, I did one called Hustling Outdoor Wear for Profit, something like that. Anyway, the comment came from a person named L-N-T-A-B-A-T-A, Linta Bata, I guess that's how you say it. And basically the comment was, hey, could you, recite those words again, or those brands on those shoes that you bought. That way, I'm a very visual person, which I will be putting it on my Facebook page afterwards. So make sure to like my Facebook page. I'll transcribe it all. But I'm going to tell you right now what those brands were for all the stuff that I showed in that video. Okay, so I showed you a bunch of like hiking and trail shoes. These are the things that I really like to deal with. Salomon, amazing brand. I run in Salomon right now. La Sportiva, I also run in La Sportivas as well, up and down trails. Okay, Vask. V-A-S-Q-U-E. That is primarily for me. I don't really like to touch Vask trail running shoes, but I will touch Vask hiking boots all day long if they're in good condition. So I like Vask stuff, and it's very high-end, but probably not as high-end as a stuff called a Zolo. If you're really in hiking boots, a Zolo is really, really good stuff. And so is Lowa. L-O-W-A. Lowa. Look for that. Okay, the things I stay away from. Very important, right? I don't like to buy anything Adidas trail shoes. Anything that's like Nike trail shoes or any of that like trail run this and that, I don't like that kind of stuff. And I don't like North Face, period. That's just my personal opinion. You can hustle anything you want to, but I've done enough of these like outdoors kind of things and enough of the picking and flipping and reselling, and let me just tell you, like the money's just better on those brands I told you the first time, okay? So that'll all be on Facebook. Alright, let's talk about climbing shoes. These are ones used for actual rock climbing, like walls and rappelling, belaying, all that stuff. And people that like to go bouldering in their local rock climbing gyms. The ones I look for there, Mad Rock. Love Mad Rock. I actually wear Mad Rock right now. 5.10. I like that brand as well. I like Evolve. Evolve is really good. And there's also a brand called La Sportiva as well. La Sportiva is also that previous brand I talked to you about that makes really, really good trail shoes. Okay, so I stick with 4 brands on the climbing thing, 4. And that is Mad Rock, 5.10, Evolve, E-V-O-L-V, and La Sportiva. Okay, let's talk about garments. Garments being outerwear, things like up here. I really don't mess with like down here kind of garments. I don't know why, I don't like it. But for the up, garments like windbreakers and parkas and fleeces and, monkey man looking jackets. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff that I like to mess with. Mountain hardware. I'm a huge avid fan of mountain hardware. I have a lot of it. I love it. Arc'teryx, very expensive stuff. So I'll transcribe that on the Facebook page. It's kind of hard to spell it out for you. Arc'teryx, Marmot, Mountain Hardware, and let's see what else here. Patagonia, if you can find some Patagonia, amazing stuff. Okay, stuff I stay away from. I stay away from North Face. I don't like it very much. I really don't. I don't think the craftsmanship's that great. And REI. I like REI. Some of REI's house brand clothing is okay, but for the most part, it's not that great. So I stay away from that. It's not really comparable to any of that other stuff I just told you. And then things that are called Helly Hansen. Helly Hansen is, to me, it's primarily like rain type gear and stuff for like sailing. So I've come across a good amount of Helly Hansen stuff, and I just never seem to I break even every single time. So I'm in it for the profit. I'm in it to hustle it, and I'm not in it to just break even. And I've seen enough Helly Hansen stuff break even. I don't deal with it anymore. Okay, that's all going to be on the Facebook. I hope you like the fact that I'm coming forth with all this stuff that I showed you in the video, but I'm going to transcribe it for you, and any other viewer requests out there that have to do with that outdoors video, go ahead and just shoot them out. But I hope this answers your question. Okay, let's talk about the other viewer request that I got, and it was on actual Facebook. It's from a guy named It's DJR. It's DJR wrote me saying, hey, could you speak about antique booths, what to expect, cost to expect, the kind of people that shop there, and anything else that might help me. And I'm thinking that he's probably considering getting into an antique booth. So I have been in an antique booth, not for like a really long time, right? But fair amount of business comes from that antique booth. I would say about a third of my kind of profits come from it. So it's substantial, it's cool, and I love digging in it, right? It's fun to like go into your antique booth and mess around with things and shift things here and there, and all of a sudden you look at your Excel spreadsheet at the end of the night of things that sell from the antique booth, and you see all these things sell. So it's a lot of fun. All right, so let's talk about the antique booth. And antique booths are typically in antique malls, okay? The reason why I got into an antique booth is I wanted a place to put all my stuff where I wouldn't have to like be there constantly trying to sell it and setting up appointments and this and that, dealing with MasterCard, Visa, and all that junk. I would rather pay someone 10% to deal with that, and that's what my antique booth or antique mall charges me, aside from rent as well. So here's the first rule of antique booths, okay? This is a fundamental rule. Only mess with the antique booth if you can find some old vintage things, okay? Old vintage things. There are really no rules. And you become a better hustler like over time when you're in an antique booth. When I first opened up not too long ago, it was fun, but I made rent every single month. I've made rent every single month and then some and then some, so it's great. I love it. It's a lot of fun. As long as you can get some rent going, it's just like, I call it kind of tuition. It's hustler tuition. So don't be afraid if you're not hitting home runs like right off the bat, but you will hit them. You will. And it'll just like show you one day on your cell phone, you'll be like, damn, I can't believe that thing sold. And that's kind of how it is. Once or twice a week, I look at my cell phone, I'm like, jeez, like I can't believe that thing sold for that much, So that's what's fun about antique malls. So there is rent every single month in an antique booth, okay? So there are booths in an antique mall, several booths, a lot of booths are in an antique mall. And they all pay rent to the head dude that manages the entire antique mall. He manages it for, insurance, security, the actual building, the staff that's working there, all the people that help get your items out. Some of that stuff needs dollies and this and that. They do all that stuff for you, okay? All you got to do is just bring it there, drop it off, and use a little tag to show how much it is. Okay, so they do like 60% of the work, and for you, it's the other 40%. We're talking like cleaning this stuff and making sure and researching it, and then you put your price down, you put a tag on it, you throw it in the antique booth, see you later, I'm out of here. That's how it is. Okay, this is the reason why I really like the antique booth. It allows me to deal with like old stuff, make a lot of money on old stuff, which is fun, and it's a storage, right? Instead of me getting a storage unit to put all the cool stuff that I find, it's a storage so your wife and your girlfriend doesn't dump your ass, right? So I can't put this in my garage, I can't put this here and there. I got to put it somewhere. So I would be paying maybe $50 in rent to put it in a storage facility. It would be making me no money. There's no chance of making any money in a storage facility. It would be closed door, no one would be able to see it. So I actually pay about $240 for rent. Sounds like a lot, but believe me, I've made it every single month. It's very quickly made. Okay, so, it's an actual storage facility in my mind. I pack that thing up full as I can. All right, they take a percentage of the sale. My antique mall takes 10% of everything I make. So expect them, and they're not going to do it for free. All right, you authorize any sales that go on in your booth. So you can say, I want a 30% off sale on this and that. I'm thinking about going 50% off all on Tonka vehicles right now because I got a lot of Tonkas and they're kind of building up some, they're big, right? And I just don't want them anymore. So I've had 50% off Pearl Snap shirts before. I've had 50% off boots, just to like spike sales up. You don't ever just want to be like the whole time. I have a 30% off sale going on right now. And before that, I had a 50% off sale going on clothing. And before that, I had another sale. So, it's just like whatever you think and however you want to spike your profits, that's kind of how you do it. Either way, you're still paying like nothing for all this stuff that's in there anyway. All right, so this is the way I look at it. A beginner should expect about 2 times return on their money. That means all the money you put in, you're going to get twice the amount of money out. Sounds like a great deal. Try finding a lot of stuff first on your first month or two. It's a little harder than you think. You want good stuff. All right, intermediate person's probably going to get about 3 times return. And I see that every now and then, but not really. A hustler, a true hustler, I believe, is in the 4 times category. That's kind of like my measuring stick. If I'm 4 times or more on my money, any dollar I put in, $4 is going to come out. After all fees are all done and everything's all said and done, I get about $4 for every dollar I put into that antique mall on average. Okay, there's been sometimes I've been 10 on some paychecks and some have been 8, but for the most part it's like 4. Okay, so smalls. This is the rule of antique malls, and anybody that tells you differently, I don't know if that's true, because this is what everyone in my antique mall tells me, and then I got into it and I was like, yeah, it is that. So the smalls make your rent. All the small stuff and the little, all the this and that take about 5 billion freaking, I'll show you here in a second what an antique mall tag looks like, and then that's what makes you rent. All the little small things, it's fun. Yeah, it's fun researching them, but they're not going to be making your huge hitting profits that you want to find. And that's where all the fun is. So big, rare, and odd stuff makes all the big money, okay? All of it. And it's true. Going back to It's DJR's actual request, on this question, one of the very first things he asked me was, what kind of people can you expect in an antique mall? All right. You can expect anybody that you can think of. My antique booth is in the middle, is in an antique mall, which is in kind of like the heart of town. So I get a lot of students, huge university around here. A lot of students I've seen in an antique mall. Lots of weird, eclectic kind of people that want one-of-a-kind kind of things are going to be at antique malls, okay? They're looking for bags. They're looking for all kinds of stuff, fashion accessories, pearl snap shirts. I mean, you name it. I've seen it. Like, I've sat there in my booth, like, sometimes 30 minutes at a time or an hour, and there'll be people passing by and they're like, hey, is this your booth? Like, and I'm like, yeah, I'll give you a good deal on whatever you want right now, man. And yeah, it's just, I can't even tell you, there's not really a demographic. You would think like only old fogies would go there. No, it's not that at all. Actually, it's more like I would say 25, yeah, about 25 all the way to maybe like 50. Those are the people I see in my antique booth and in my antique mall. So unfortunately, the data of all the stuff that sells doesn't tell you how old the person is that bought it. But, from my visual, observations, that's what I see right now. I would never go back on the antique booth. Was it a good decision? Of course it was a good decision. It gives me the ability to hustle old stuff, okay? And I love to find old stuff, and if it's like this big or that big, I've had pieces of airplane fuselages in there that took about 2 months to sell, but it was still really cool. I mean, where the hell are you going to put that stuff? How are you going to ship pieces of an airplane fuselage on eBay? You can't do it. You can bring it to a UPS store. They might screw it all up. They're not even going to know how to package that thing up. I don't think anybody has a box that big. These things were bigger than like 46-inch TV, plasma TV boxes and stuff like. They were huge. But yeah, through the antique mall, no problem. 2 months later, all 3 of them were gone. I suspect maybe an artist bought them, put them on a wall, etched something out, spray painted something. Who knows? The fact is, it was really cool. I got a great deal out of someone's yard for those airplane pieces. All right, so if you do like my videos, please comment, subscribe, like my videos. And here's another thing. A lot of you guys and girls comment down there, but I don't know if you guys realize that I actually have about a 24-hour turnaround where I get back to your comment. So take a look down there. You can ask me all kinds of questions down there, okay? And as well as that, on that note, you can also go to my Facebook page and like that, because a lot of the cool contests are going to be coming from that page. So go ahead and start liking the Facebook page, the Bonafide Hustler. And on there, you can like it as well, and you can ask me questions like It's DJR did, and you might get a video response out of it. But this is really important stuff, so even if you're not into antique booths, hopefully this will pique your interest, and you can start thinking about are there ways to move, vintage stuff, or do I only have to look at current day things if I want to be a hustler? The answer is no. You can be any kind of hustler you want, but a bona fide hustler can hustle anything. Old stuff, current day stuff, whatever you find, you got to have avenues to put it. All right? If you like my videos, comment, subscribe. I love the comments, and I will get back to you, I promise. Have a good day.